Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Sharon, aka the Melanin Nostalgic Runner, and we are back for another review of Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 8, Episode 6. This is called Tequila, Tears, Texas. So, 3 T's, I guess. And before we get started with this episode, this trip's trash. It's not a good trip. I need Ashley to no longer be on the show. She brings nothing. Her vacations suck. They're not good. I'm sorry, they're not. I normally don't come in hot, but this is one of those franchises at this point. I hate to say this, and I was saying it at the beginning, because if I compare it to all my other franchises I'm watching, I'm going to need this to I need a soft reboot. Can we at least get rid of half the cast? Because I don't know. It's not a positive energy, vibes when I watch the show. I feel like with all the other franchises, there's some lightheartedness to it. Beverly Hills, not as lighthearted, but there still is some there. I don't know. This group is just really toxic, and it's just a little much for me. Anyway, but where we start with this show or this episode basically, is it continues with basically Aneka and Wendy arguing. And seemingly, Wendy gets caught in a lie in front of the group when it comes to knowing Lebby. And because Lebby was clearly Wendy knows Lebby, and Ashley is narrating her thoughts on the confessional. And I feel away immediately because I see that Ashley's narrating her thoughts when it comes to the things that are going on with African culture. Ashley, I'm going to need you to stay out of this. It's just all wrong. It's all just wrong. And anyway. So, but in Wendy's confessional, she actually clears up. She says, yeah, I obviously do know Lebby. We used to be friends. We're not anymore. Yeah, she had the garment on. But also, Giselle had a garment on that, and we're not cool. And I'm like, there you go. To me, it didn't really need to be explained, but it made sense to me. Why do you need to have an explanation with everyone in the group about something that really, at the end of the day, Aneka wasn't even at? She was just saw it on the show like the rest of us did. That's like me coming on the show, never meeting these ladies ever, and then all of a sudden accusing her of this, that, and this, and because I happen to have some type of relation with someone else that was in one of the events that she was invited to. If you weren't there, this is just my opinion. If you're not there, you shouldn't speak about it. It's that simple. Anyway. So then Wendy all of a sudden out of nowhere states that Aneka, she was smoking crack. And I kind of get where Wendy's coming from, because she's you're accusing me of a whole bunch of weird stuff, so I'm just going to accuse you of weird stuff. I think that's where she's coming from. This is just my personal thought of what she might be doing. But at the same time as Wendy it came left field. It was weird. This whole entire scene is weird. And then out of nowhere, they just state okay, when out of nowhere, Karen's hey, I want everyone to be able to communicate, because Karen, we know, is the peacemaker of the group, trying to get everyone to come together. And they just start dancing at the pool. And by the way, before, I should have said this at the beginning, they're already in Austin. The trip is in Austin. I don't know why they chose Austin. Out of all the franchises, this group doesn't go anywhere that is exotic. They go places that I can go to, easily. And it's just kind of but you're a Real Housewife show. But anyway, so they start dancing out of nowhere, and Candace tries to console Naneka, and Wendy's like, she comes to Candace, she's like, hey, when it comes to her and Naneka, just keep her name out of it. And it's kind of awkward because like Candace is like, I'm trying to be the peacemaker here, but like Wendy wants no parts of it. Understandably so. Especially once you hear Wendy's true POV of how she feels about everything. It makes all the sense in the world. For me, I wouldn't want to talk to you ever again either if you came that hot. Like, I don't know you from a can of paint and you're attacking me and my family. Right at jump. Which is really what Naneka did. Like, you basically did xenophobia and attacking my family. All in one setting. With a whole bunch of ladies who are kind of ignorant. I'm on Wendy's side when it comes to that. I don't need to talk to this lady ever in life. So next, we see the ladies get ready for dinner, and Ashley is doing another TikTok dance, and I'm just like, first of all, she can't dance. Like, she is so stiff when she dances. It's so like, it's bad. And also too, I was looking at her like, girl, what are you wearing? Like, her fashions are so bad. But like, I'm sorry. Even with my cheap, fast fashions that I wear, I dress better than Ashley does. Girl can't dress. But anyway, they're on their way to dinner in one of the cars. Naneka is still talking about the whole entire thing because the cars are still split off based off the zodiac signs that I mentioned. So like it's like Naneka, Karen, Giselle, and Ashley in one car. And so she's still talking about how she feels about like everything. But what kills me about Naneka, and what kills me about Giselle is between the audacity between these two ladies. And it's like, oh my God. So Giselle's thinking Wendy should apologize to Naneka for calling her a crackhead, but just totally forgot about everything else that happened there. Ignoring the fact that Naneka literally was attacking Wendy's mom. And also in the same sentence when Naneka's like, she's not going to apologize. Naneka goes back to attack Wendy's mom more. I'm sorry. Why should Wendy apologize to you for that? Like, in comparison, Wendy's insult back to you was childish. You're talking about her mom, though. Also childish. But it's just like, y'all are in your 40s and 50s. What is happening? I'm so confused. I'm so confused. And so then in the other car, Candace is asking, Wendy how she feels about things, and Wendy's just pretty much over it. She doesn't want to deal with Naneka at all. And Candace is still wanting to be a peacemaker on this. And they get to dinner, and at the dinners, this is probably the first time where everyone's at dinner together, and it seems to be a lighter mood, mainly because they're keeping it super, super surface, and they're just talking about the sexuals of it all. But Naneka and Wendy, both of them just have this stank look on their face the whole entire time for the most part. Wendy tries to let it go, but Naneka doesn't. It just has this look on her face. And yeah, anyway, this is where they keep things light, try to keep things light, and it's just like, wow. So then next, while ordering food, Karen makes a comment about getting food where there's not going to be a lot of chewing, so she's probably just going to get oysters, basically. And Giselle jokes that that's That's how Ray likes it, insinuating that Karen swallows. And Wendy then asks the group who at the table swallows to raise their hand at the table. No one raises their hand besides the only person that raises her hand is Robyn. So Robyn raises her hand. Everyone's look at their face is just sending me because they're all just like ill. But I'm also kind of questioning, like, then what do y'all do with it if you just spit it out? I'm confused because, well, for one, never mind. We're not gonna get into my business, but I'm just confused. I'm just giving this look of confusion, like. But I also wouldn't have even said all this at dinner because, by the way, this whole entire conversation is not done at a bar. This is like at a dinner, like at a restaurant. I don't know how TMI am I going to get into my personals if I'm at a nice restaurant like that. But they're doing it, so whatever. But it keeps, at least things are light. And so Wendy asked the group, so basically, most of the ladies said that they have before, but now that they're married, for the ones who are married, they're saying they don't do that anymore. And it just leads into this whole conversation of like asking, like, so what do you do with it if you don't swallow? And it was funny, but like I don't feel like I need to repeat all that. So basically, long story less long. No. I am going to repeat one more thing. So then Candace says instead of swallowing, she would rather like be pissed on. And I'm just like, how did we get here? I'm laughing. I'm cracking up because I'm just like, this is how did y'all get here at a dinner table? But at least they're not arguing. The bar is set that low that at least they're not arguing. Tragic, man. It's tragic. But anyway, the whole entire dinner conversation is about sex. And it's funny, but it's kind of sad that this is the only thing that they can talk about really without arguing. Like, these ladies do not like each other in real life, and it's so sad. Anyway, they leave dinner and they head back to the hotel, and Rob's suite, because Robyn invites everyone, like, hey, after because they had such a nice time at dinner. She's like, you guys can all come to my suite. Karen and Giselle, they're there briefly, and then they're like, we're turning in for the night because they're not part of the after party crew. They're the ones that usually go to sleep early. Just they're not gonna be part of that. And then Candace asks to use Robyn's slippers while in her room, which was kind of awkward because Robyn and Candace still haven't really talked to each other or resolved any of their issues. So Robyn's kind of looking at her kind of weird, but she's not going to say anything about it. And Candace is just kind of like pretending nothing happened, which is weird. That will weird me out too. I don't know how to operate that way either. Like, we need to address the issues before we move forward. That's how I am personally. You're not going to treat me and act like nothing has happened just for the sake of having fun. It's like, no. Let's talk about it. Let's deal with the issue. Either move past it or F you forever. And that's that on that. But I kind of understand where Candace is coming from at the same time because Robyn is not exactly the person who can move past things. So it's this weird energy like the whole time. And I'll explain further as we go along because it's kind of the whole entire, pretty much gist of this episode. So then, basically, shortly, everyone leaves. Robyn's room. And Candace, before she leaves the room, she's like, hey, can we talk tomorrow about things? And to hopefully resolve things. And Robyn, she agrees, like, yeah, we can talk about it like tomorrow. And that pretty much concludes that. And, okay. I know I said this at the beginning, but I'm going to say it again. This trip is giving nothing. They could have just, all the stuff that they're doing so far on this trip, I mean, everything that they've done so far on this trip, they could have did this at home. They did not need to go to a trip to do any of this stuff. And I don't really hate Austin. I actually would love to go to Austin, Texas. And I know there's actually cool stuff to do, but they're not doing any of it. Like they have this really, really decent looking lake that they can kayak and do stuff in. But then again, I feel like couldn't they have done that kind of thing in Potomac? I don't know. I'm just so confused why they're here. Like, because so far right now, this trip's giving nothing. It's giving snooze fest. But anyway, so in the morning, they are in Ashley's room. Giselle apologizes to Rob to leaving her with people who were talking about her. And this is my thing. Right here, for those who are wondering, or just, this is my opinion, by the way. But my thoughts on this is, we're seeing who are the problems of this show. Giselle's a problem and Ashley's a problem. Ashley's trips are boring. Ashley as a whole is boring. The only thing that Ashley brings is stirring the pot. But really, anyone can do that. And then for Giselle, she's boring and she holds grudges. She doesn't want people to move forward. And she's even making it where Robyn does the same thing. And honestly, I feel like if Giselle wasn't on this show, I probably would like Robyn more. Because I think Robyn, outside of Giselle, is alright. I don't really hate her. And I just want her to like be herself and not be so influenced by Giselle. Because I feel like Robyn, if Giselle was not on this show, Robyn would have moved past a lot of her issues with some of the ladies. I think her and Wendy would not be beefing anymore if it wasn't for Giselle. And I think Robyn and Candace would have never even started beefing. That would have just stayed okay from the beginning. Like, I think it really is Giselle. Giselle's a puppet master and just has her, like, it. Yeah. That's my thought, though. But anyway, so the breakfast looks nice. The breakfast spread does look nice. The activity that Ashley wants them to do is paint their vajayjays. Or interpretation of it. That's what they're going to do in the morning. Ashley, what are these activities that you have planned? They're trash. Again, why do they need to go to Austin for this? I'm so confused. Anyway, and everyone pretty much had kind of a similar reaction. Like, what is this activity? Why are we doing this? Everyone had to look up this is dumb because it is. But I don't know if you think these women are children. I don't know. But who goes on vacation to do things that you could do while you're in your city? Who does that? Anyway, so Karen addresses the elephant in the room and asks how Robyn's doing while stating that she still feels she doesn't share with everyone in group, which causes a divide. And Karen, I saw what you did there. I halfway agree with you, but not all the way. Even though I love you, Karen, I don't agree with you all the way here. That is not what's causing a divide. Your frenemy, Giselle, is what's causing this divide. I don't think it is Robyn. I don't think that's what's causing the divide. But, yeah, I'm glad she at least called out that she's not sharing in front of the whole entire group. And this was a chance right here, though. Because, okay, that's all I got to say about, like, Karen. But this right here was a part where Robyn's response could have changed the trajectory of everything. But instead, she actually gave a response that validated what Karen said, that latter part about her dividing the group. If, Robyn would have gave the response, the proper response, she could have shut this whole entire thing down and no more heat would be on her. But because Robyn's really emotionally immature. It's so clear as day. It's clear as mud. She acts like a child. Which makes sense because you're with someone else who acts like a child. You're with everyone that you're close to act like children. Giselle acts like a child, holding on to grudge like she's like a teenager. And you also have your husband who acts like a child and you enable his bad behavior. So this all aligns with you. So I get it. But it's like, Jesus. it bothers me. But anyway. So Robyn gets super defensive and states that she's being attacked, being a victim basically. And then Candace tries a different approach, thank God. And calmly just asks her, so did you not read the DMs between Juan and this other woman? And did you not want to? And Robyn says she didn't want to read them. And also she stated that they were gone about it, even if she wanted to, because Juan just deletes his messages and stuff on a very regular basis. And everyone, including me, is side-eyeing Robyn like, girl, what? You don't see a flag on the play here? You don't see how red this flag is? About the fact that he doesn't keep any of his messages, none of them. He just deletes all his messages on all times. So yeah, everyone's looking at her. And then Wendy's response, she's like, oh, girl. And again, I agree with her thoughts here. So we find out that this back and forth took up the whole entire time that they were supposed to do this painting activity. Thank God, because it was a stupid idea anyway. It was like, this is like... Again, I'm confused. But anyway, so they did instead... So the next activities that Ashley has planned for them is either going to the distillery or going cowboy boot shopping. The only thing so far that has been Austin related is cowboy boot shopping. That's it. And that's not even like really an Austin thing. That's a Texas thing. Y'all could have went to Houston for that. I'm just so confused. But anyway, so they draw, like, they put the activities in a hat and the group draws who's doing what. And of course, Candace and Robyn had an agreement and switch with each other because Robyn doesn't want to do same activity with Karen. And Candace don't want to be with everyone else in that group that was going to be there. So they switched. And now they're back to this divide. So what ends up happening is you have Ashley, Giselle, Robyn, and Nneka together. That's one group. Technically one clique. Almost. Actually, I really think that truly is the divide now. And I'll explain why later. I feel like that's truly the divide now. But anyway, as one click over here, and they're going over there and doing the shopping, the cowboy shopping. And then in the other group you have, Wendy, Karen, Candace, and Mia in the other group. Mia is the reason why I'm saying I feel like that's the new divide, because as the season progresses, I feel like I'll explain later in this review why I feel this way, because I'm seeing some little mustard seeds being planted here that no one seems to be addressing or noticing. Because I do watch other reviewers talk about this show after I do my review, because I don't want to get my ideas in my head changed or shift too much. But I do want to be transparent and say I do check out other people's reviews to see what their thoughts are. And I'm always intrigued by like our point of views being similar or different. But I like that my reviews are still like my own reviews. We'll just say that. But anyway, I have a theory. And I'm going to wait till later on to explain it. But anyway, so the ladies are going shopping. That I mentioned. So like Giselle, Robyn, Ashley, and Nneka. They're talking about Nneka's wedding and how much it was a disaster. And she still wants to do her Nigerian wedding because she hasn't done the Nigerian wedding yet. She's only done the traditional American wedding first. And nothing went according to plan, according to her. Because at this time, she was she was still living in LA, but she was moving to Potomac. So that's what was happening there. Because they've only been married for like a year. We find this out. And then they also talk about what happened at breakfast with Robyn and her feeling attacked. And this is my other issue this is literally my other issue that I have with Nneka. She very much is super biased and has picked a side when it comes to this group. And I don't understand, how do you join a show and you don't try to get to know all the ladies? That's wild to me. Because you don't really, for real, know any of these ladies in real life. But you already chose the side that you want to be on. You're giving fan. And you're giving that Wendy is right about everything she's been thinking about you. You're kind of proving, Rob. You're kind of proving Wendy's point. But anyway, so... yeah. So on the other side, we go back to Wendy, Candace, Karen, and Mia. It was kind of cute and funny because no one thought that they were going to the place that they were going to. So Mia thought they were going to a winery because she's asking for wine. She can't get it. Karen keeps on asking about beer because she thinks she's going to a brewery. They don't have it. And then Candace and Wendy decides to do like 150 proof shot of whiskey. And I was like, oh my gosh. And they looked like they were about to die. And I think it was Candace saying she couldn't feel her tongue anymore because it was a baby shot because it was such high proof. But they ended up commiserating and sitting down. And there's a bird just like on the picnic table, like the fence, because they're like sitting in like a picnic table type thing while they're doing this flight of whiskeys. Mia's not, but everyone else is. And Wendy like shared that she how she feels about birds, and they flash back to Wendy and Monique's bird not getting along. I thought. I'm trying to remember what Monique's bird's name was. It was the funniest name for a bird. Was it Black Panther? I don't remember. It was a weird name. Y'all can put in the comments if y'all remember that. This was like from season... I want to say season 5. Yeah, season 5, I believe. Because it was the last season with Monique. And the first season that Wendy was on the show. Anyway, so Mia asked if that was like when they see that bird, it was like kind of like I think it was like a crow or something like that. It wasn't even a crow. One was black. It was a black bird. And Mia jokingly asked like Wendy's at her mom, and Wendy gives her this look straight up saying, "Girl, no, we're not going to do this. We're not going to do this." Like, and Mia is pushing back saying, well, what's going on with the shrine thing and all this other stuff? And Wendy finally breaks it down. And I don't know why she couldn't just done this at the beginning to just shut her up. But I don't know. I would probably be in my feelings and have a hard time doing that too. So I don't know. But she basically explains to them like, look, a shrine, she keeps saying a shrine as if it's something else than what it is. All a shrine is in African culture, it's not really African culture thing. It is a Catholicism thing. It's just your different saints. Literally what I said in my first review is what it is. And I knew that's what it was the whole entire time. I feel like in like super Catholic base, like because you even see this in like the Latin American world, those who are super, super Catholic. And then in the Caribbean world, those who are super, super Catholic. Those who are on the Catholicism side of things, they very much always have this thing where they really, really hang on to the saints, and they have different, they have rosary beads and all that stuff. I don't want to like go too much into it because I'm not Catholic myself, and I feel weird even talking about that. But I know enough to know that I knew that's what they were talking about the whole entire time. And Naneka was really just preying on the fact that these women are that ignorant and using the word shrine. Because we find out with Wendy also that a shrine is that. That's what it's called in Nigerian culture. But it's not the same as like a shrine that, a lot of people in America think of, like when you're thinking about like Wiccan religion or like any religion that's like paganism. It's not that. It's literally Catholicism. Even though Catholicism is, a lot of the practices are based on paganist practices, but I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to stop because I don't want to be offensive, but like, if you know your history, you know your history. It's like, if you really think about it, Christmas, parts of Christmas is very based on paganistic beliefs. Not all of Christmas, but parts of it that we do today, like the tree. The tree was a thing because of winter solstice, which winter solstice was a paganist celebration. Anyway, I see, and this is why I really have a tough time with this show, because I hate them even talking about religion like this. Like, this is not okay. Like, none of this is okay. But basically, Wendy breaks down and is literally telling the group, like, without saying it, it's like she's preying on xenophobia and like, she says what we've all been saying. Everyone who's been frustrated watching this show so far, she literally says it. And she just starts crying. And it's like, I feel so bad for Wendy because it's like, it took her crying for people like Mia to finally see her. And Wendy's like, okay. Mia's like, I'm going to stop. Mia's like, I'm going to stop. I'm going to leave this alone. I could tell this is touching for you. And I think Mia meant it for real. She's like, I'm going to leave this alone. And as she should, because also Wendy does share, like, it's the fact that she's literally attacking my mom. You're calling my mom a witch. I would feel a way too. If you're attacking my parents, F you forever. Like, there's nothing else to talk about. So, what I mentioned earlier, Wendy's thoughts on her saying F you forever, she literally explains why. It's right here. There's no salvaging anything. Because you literally came in attacking my family. I don't see anything wrong with her thoughts on that. I respect it. Next, so the ladies get together to meet up for lunch. And when I mean the ladies, all of them, after they got done with their respective things, like the shopping and then the distillery whiskey tasting. And Aneka explains to the rest of the ladies about doing a traditional Nigerian wedding. And then she also states that Ike, her husband, is a chief. And she kind of goes into details of what that is. Which was cool. I would love to know more about it. As you can see, whenever she's talking, the look on Wendy's face is priceless and vice versa. But really, the energy, it really should be Wendy looking at you like you're crazy. Because what you did is just really, really messed up. But anyway, I'm not going to let it go. And basically, she explains the chief thing being kind of equal to like a blue check mark on X, formerly Twitter. And so then there's a little fun scene where they're talking about how Karen brought her blue check. And Karen is arguing all these women down that she did not buy her blue check but if we know the updates that Elon made on the Twitter, now called X, if you have blue check still, you're paying for it. And so, right in front of the group, Wendy's like gives Karen her phone. It's like, look, so you have this monthly fee that you're paying for. That's Twitter. That's you paying for that blue check. And she's like, I didn't do that. I'm gonna call Apple Pay. Just being ridiculous. And it's quite comical. So then, from there, because basically, yeah, Karen kind of got caught in a lie. It was fun and silly, nothing crazy. And then the subject of Ashley's relationship comes up. So, they were joking around like, yeah, we need to find you a man while we're here, to Ashley. And then Mia asked Ashley, so how's the divorce coming? And Ashley is side-eyeing Mia so badly. And Ashley's answering the question, but the math is not mapping as far as how she's answering the question. Because the subject of custody comes up, how she wants the custody to be, and all this other things. And also, so Mia's eyeing her based off this response. And then also, Candace is also side-eyeing Ashley as well. And then in her confessional, Candace is like, are they even getting a divorce? Like, where's the evidence that this has even happened, that she even filed? And then from there, back in the scene, Mia then asks a follow-up question like, so what's going on with this lawsuit? Do you know anything about this lawsuit, Ashley? So that's what Mia asked. And then she also then turns it to Candace to ask and ask a similar question. But before we go into details of what was said here, remember earlier how I pointed out that I think the sides have changed a little bit? It's clear to me Ashley does not like Mia. I don't think Ashley likes Mia at all. There's been multiple scenes where it's Mia talking about things and she always shades her. So this is my theory. I think when it came to the whole conflict of Wendy and Mia, Ashley took Wendy's side because she doesn't like Mia. I think that's the only reason why that happened. I don't think there was any other reason. I don't know why Ashley doesn't like Mia, other than maybe she does your role better. Because I'm sorry, if Mia's on this show, Ashley don't really need to be on this show because Mia's messy. But Mia has more personality and has more going on. Whether it's real or not, that's a whole other thing because Mia be lying, but she's a lot more entertaining to watch to me than Ashley is. Ashley's kind of boring. She's so boring. I mean, if I had to choose between me and Ashley, I'll keep me on the show and Ashley can leave. That's just my thoughts, my opinion. Don't kill me in the comments. Please don't. Anyway, but back to the subject at hand. So Candace states that she will not be discussing the lawsuit with this group. She's like, I'm not talking about this with this group. And then Robyn had the audacity to, well, can we get a list of things that we can and cannot talk about within this group? And I'm like, the one who withheld information throughout all of last season and then decides to provide the information via paywall on her podcast. Wrong road. And then Candace states, we can be dense another time to her. And then she does clarify to her, she's like, look, this is a legal matter. And I don't think it's a good idea to have a conversation of legality like on TV. Which I think Candace is right. You should not be talking about this on the TV show when you got something legally pending. And she's like, unlike what you did, I don't think what you did was smart when you talked about the legal action that you had going on, that Juan had going on. Turned around on her. I was like, catch it. I was like, yes, and yes. So then it went from them talking about Candace and what she got going on to now everyone's asking, Wendy's asking, and everyone's asking about, so what about your situation with Juan and the potential Title IX violation? She didn't like that. And honestly, at the end of the day, Robyn, if you would have just stood there, just sat there and ate your food, that would not have came up. But you decided to do that, and so it got brought up. So Robyn's annoyed. You could tell. Robyn's trying to explain her man, explain all that, saying that he didn't do the things that he's accused of, this, that, and this, and that. And it's just kind of like, honestly, again, this would not have got brought up if you would have just kept your mouth shut. And honestly, overall, when it comes to what's going on with Robyn, she has no one to blame but herself. Why did she decide to even share this on her podcast? If she would just not, when Giselle asked about it, she could have just kept it short and sweet and not say anything else. She did not need to even bring it up on the podcast thought. And I don't remember if it was Giselle who brought it up or Robyn who brought it up initially. If she would have never brought this up, none of this would have happened. But you got greedy and decided you're going to just do this through a paywall on your podcast. It's ridiculous. So next, the ladies go back to the hotel to change. They walk back because they weren't really that far away from the hotel where they went and had lunch at. And they're playing another one of Ashley's stupid games. The next game is called Chicken-ish Bingo. And you guys put in the comments, if any of y'all are from Austin, is that a real thing? She's saying that's an Austin thing, and I've never heard this in a day of my life. I have friends who live in Austin. I've never heard of this. Put in the comments if this is real. And so they all go back to the hotel, change, and they go back out to do this. And so Candace and Robyn are in the car together. They're actually sitting next to each other in the car. And Candace, mainly Candace, is trying to clear the air one more time about like what she said. And Robyn's like, I don't want to talk to you anymore because you brought this up about my husband's lawsuit, this, that, and this, and that. And it's like, she was like, and justly, rightfully so, Candace is like, I didn't bring it up to hurt you. I'm just saying for me personally, and I was just trying to relate it back to you, that when it comes to legal matters, you shouldn't be talking about that on camera. That's pretty much all she was trying to say, is like, you should not be talking about something that is pending legally and has major ramifications on screen. Like, that's not father. Like, I don't know why. And then out of nowhere, Robyn just starts breaking down crying and just like, you guys are all just trying to attack me. And they're all trying to get her to stop crying at this point. They're just like, no, we're not trying to do that. And then it ends with to be continued. So that was the end of the episode. And again, I am worn out by this season already. And it's only episode 6. I'm going to need some things to change with Potomac. I don't know what else to do. Like, I really wish I would enjoy watching this more than I do. I really wanted to turn it off multiple times while I was watching this episode because it's not really giving anything. It's not giving what the girls said that needs to have give. It just isn't. And it's not fun to watch. Anyway, hopefully you do like my review, or you agree with my review, or you don't. Please be nice in the comments. Don't be mean. But please like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you get anything out of the content. It's your girl Sharon, aka the Melanin Nostalgic Runner. And I will see you next time. Bye.